Hello again and welcome to exercise 35. Now we're going to get into playing with a bunch of functions, an if statement, and we're going to make another game. This is kind of putting together all the stuff you know so far. And if you remember from my last videos, or a couple back, I said, play with doing functions and if statements, see what you can do. This game, we're actually going to do that. We're also using the thing that I mentioned where you use a while loop to loop perpetually until an if statement exits out. So I'm going to load this up. I'm not going to type all this code in. You should type all this code in. I've typed this code in a million times. You don't want to watch me type this code in. It's really long. I'm also super lazy. So what this means is I am going to cheat. I'm going to cheat. Because I wrote the book, I get to cheat. So what we have here is all of the, let me just back up some phones here. We have all of the code here. And what we're doing is we're using a single function for each room. And at the end of the file, we just call the start. So that's the start room. And then each room calls the next room. And inside each room is sort of the scene that we're setting. So you see we just do some printing and we do, grab some stuff to do next, and then we continue and continue and continue. It's pretty straightforward. There's nothing in here that's unusual for you. It's all stuff that you should already know about, and it's nothing weird. It's just that it's a larger program, so you're not used to large amounts of code like this. To be honest, this is not a large amount of code. This is a minuscule amount of code. I breathe this much code in like 5 minutes. This is nothing. But for you, this might be a big step, so take your time with it. Key things to watch out for. Double check that you get each of the ifs and the elses. What happens is a lot of people type these things in, and then they don't get the else clause. They just type the if, and they forget to do the else. Also, make sure that you get which function calls which one right. So for example, inside this room, the gold room gets called next. So make sure you're calling the gold room next. Some people forgot to do that. And then other than that, nothing really new in here to learn. So just have fun with it. Also in this one, make sure you hit the study drills. And also, feel free to play with this, like mess it up, do different stuff with it, break it, take it apart, anything you want. It's not hard to actually take this apart and see how it goes. So consider this video just sort of an introduction to giving you some homework. So that way you go through this and try to learn it. Remember, key points. Make sure you get the else's right. Make sure you get which rooms are calling which rooms. And remember, if you get stuck, add more print statements to see what's going on, to trace through, and write English comments above each thing that you're doing. So each line of code, if you don't understand a line of code, or you don't understand what a function is doing, break it down by taking it apart. Last thing before I close. This isn't anything new. It's just maybe you haven't experienced it. You haven't thought you could do this. What this little bit of code here, it's a while loop. You know what a while loop is. Nothing new, but it's a while true. So all this is going to do is loop forever. And this is just a way to make it so that people can keep typing in bad answers, and it'll keep on going and going and going until they type the right one. So play with that too. That's a very important part of this exercise. Okay. Awesome. I'll see you at the next one.